Bob, California. You're on the Wilkow Majority. Hello.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Andrew. Hey, I think you're making some wrong comments about the GM deal. You're not an investment banker, you're not a stockbroker, and you're making reckless comments to your...
Okay, Bob, this is the same argument that lawyers make when they say, I can't possibly understand the Constitution. So instead of putting it in my face that I don't do what you do for a living, why don't you tell me where I'm wrong?
Well, you're saying that the government is going to dump it all at one time.
No, I didn't say they would. I said they could.
I just heard... Oh, yeah, they could. Well, you're just fearful.
Well, there's a huge... No. Am I wrong? Are you telling me... Oh, no, Bob. Bob, don't do this. Don't play the game. Bob, this is going to work. No, Bob, this is not going to work this way. It's not going to work this way. You're going to tell me on this program that it is virtually impossible for President Obama to dump the stock.
Absolutely.
It's virtually impossible.
Yes.
How is that impossible?
Because he's mandated to only, through investment bankers and specialists, he can only sell so many shares at so many times. Look at the Citibank as an example. Go back and do some history. And look
Bob, I did. Bob, hold on a second. Bob, hold on a second. Then one of the most preferred stocks, not preferred stock, preferred stocks by members of Congress were the banks that control the GM IPO minus the Chinese banks that are involved. The government is retaining 50% of its stake, meaning it has 61. It has 61. It is selling 33. That means after the stock price goes up because these institutions are adding to it, and people can't buy back what it is they lost through a personal transaction. In other words, mainstream investors can't go to their computer and bypass stockbrokers like you and go on Scottrade and buy it. They have to buy it from the ticket scalpers. If the president decides that he wants to plummet the price, he can throw those shares out there in a one-day fire sale. Don't tell me he can't do that.
He can't do it.
Really? That would be like saying that he couldn't take over. No, Bob, hold on. Let me finish the thought. Bob, that would be like saying that Obama couldn't just take over an auto company.
You are taking things...
Did the president did the president confiscate private property in the General Motors takeover?
Pardon me?
Did the president confiscate private property in the General Motors takeover?
Well, I think that's to the extreme.
Okay, what do you call it when the government takes something that it doesn't own?
You're taking things way...
No. See, no, I'm not taking anything any extreme, Bob.
Yes, you are.
No, Bob. What do you call it? Bob, stop being a little baby here. You're weapons grade stupid, and I'm afraid you're going to go off. I'm hanging up on you. The government took over an auto company. It walked in and said, this is now property of the federal government. I'm fear-mongering? What's the nice way to say that? What is the nice, polite, politically correct, non-fearmonger way to say that the government stepped in and said to the bondholders and shareholders of General Motors and Chrysler, guess what? We now own this. This is now ours, which they are now turning around and selling to a select number of banks, which happen to be the preferred interest of members of Congress and are retaining enough of the shares to affect the price if the president decides to dump them on the open market in one day. To say he couldn't do it would be like to say he couldn't just take over an auto company, but he did. So to say he can't do exactly what he did to the auto company in reverse, which is to dump its shares that he took without permission, is nonsense, Bob. I would have left you on the line. To make your point, but I'm not fear-mongering. You just don't like the language.